Yes, and I am so grateful and pleased to welcome back Tracy and Joshua Johnson. Um, Thank you guys so very much for taking the time out of your afternoon to join me again today and share some of the keys to your successful union as a power couple. And I
Yes.
appreciate you guys taking the time. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. Thank you for having
Awesome.
us.
Doing great.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Well, I know last week we spoke a lot about how you guys met and the fact that you prayed to have your wife and you wanted that clarity of
Right.
exactly what you wanted in your life and that you guys have
Right.
just built your union together now just around your ideas and your vision on what
Right.
it was to be a power couple. And so I want to
Right.
talk a little bit today about just the importance of having that foundation as
Right.
a power couple. Can we talk a little bit
Right.
about what the foundation looks like as far as God in your life?
Okay. Yeah. So, as far as God, as we told you before, we've had so many different experiences with God. I told you all last week, I grew up in my room preaching to stuffed animals. And my experience with God then is totally different than now. I'm 28. I started at 2 in my room with stuffed animals. And so from 2 to 28, God has not changed, but I've learned so much more of God and different aspects of God.
Yeah.
So in our marriage, when we started to learn that God has different aspects, that He's not just one dimensional,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
but there are so many dimensions to God, it opened us up in our marriage. Like it helped me understand my wife more. She understands me more because we all are made in the mirror image of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
He
Right.
made us in His image and His likeness. So as we know God more, we know each other more. That's how it should reflect. You know God more, you know your spouse more,
Mm-hmm.
she knows me more. So we over these last 2 3 years have grown tremendously, and
Right.
our openness in our marriage as far as being honest, the
Yes.
communication.
Right.
We've always been best friends. We've always talked about everything. The first time we talked on the phone was like 5 hours
Five
straight.
hours.
Wow.
Straight. The first time.
Phenomenal. That's awesome.
Yes.
Nothing, and it wasn't just spiritual. It was just me getting to know her,
Yes.
flirting with her. She, flirting with me. It was just like we just talked to get to know each other.
Right.
But over the last 9 years, going on 9 years in October, well, in April, being together,
Mm-hmm.
um, we have gotten to know so much more of each other because of our openness now with God.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the foundation of God has to be that you have to have an open mind spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And as you have an open mind spiritually, you'll grow in your marriage and your relationship because the way you see God is always going to be the way that you see other people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You're never going to be able to treat your spouse or your significant other
Mm-hmm.
like you should if you don't really know God.
Wow.
And
Right.
if you have a closed mind when it comes to spirituality, you're gonna have a closed mind when it comes to sex. You're gonna have a closed mind when it comes to intimacy. You're gonna have a closed mind when it comes to dating. It hinders every aspect
Everything.
of your marriage. So our
Yes.
sex life increase, our dating increase, our openness increase, our attractiveness to each other increase
Mm-hmm.
because of our spirituality becoming open.
Right.
So yeah, that's the foundation.
That's powerful. So you said the way you see God is the way you see other people, is the way your
Yes.
vision is with other people. That is powerful stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
basically, you're saying if you have an open heart and love for God, then you'll have an open heart and love for others. And
Right.
Yes.
that
Right.
understanding of how to accept, wow, that's
Why
powerful.
do you think so many people are so judgmental of
Right.
people?
Right.
Because they have the view of a judgmental God.
Yes.
They
Hmm.
feel God is angry.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, everybody's talking about, well, not everybody, but a lot of people talking about God is killing people off, this
Right.
coronavirus. I had somebody inbox me, I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Mm-hmm.
They don't believe in God.
Wow.
And because they feel like God is causing all of this that's happening.
Chaos. Yes.
Right.
And he's not. And so because of their perspective, your perception is your reality. So
Hmm.
because of your perception of
Mm-hmm.
God, that's your perception of people.
Right.
Right.
You treat people as you perceive God to be. So if
Wow.
he's angry, then you're going to be angry at people. If
Mm-hmm.
he's judgmental to you, you're going to judge people.
Yes.
Right.
So how we see God is how we see people and we treat people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so when it comes to that clarity and coming to a better place with an understanding of how to see God, what would you say is a good place to start if you're someone who wants to have that a more positive experience in a relationship with God?
You have to be okay with being wrong about who God is.
Mm,
You have to be okay. This is a lot of deep stuff today.
yeah,
You have to be okay about being wrong about who God is. Because a
right,
lot of times we think we know who He is. And I'm
right.
going to tell you this. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm a theologian. I study. I have a lot of friends that are philosophers in the Word. And I did a lesson one time, and I said, God is not a He.
Mm,
And the scripture tells you that. The Bible said that he is not a man.
right.
Now, Jesus became a man
Mm-hmm.
as God, but God is not a man. God is. That's what he is. And we
Right.
say he because we personify who he is as far as what we can relate as
Mm-hmm.
being a male figure. God is not male or female. God
God is. God
is.
is.
Wow.
God
God is
is.
spirit. Yes.
So you have to be okay with being wrong of what you think you know about him in order to be open about who he really is.
Right.
Because I did a whole class on who God is one day, and I was teaching about being feminine and the feminism movement
Right.
and the movement of feminism and how women are so judged and outcast in ministry because they're not seen as an equal with a man. And
Mm-hmm.
I taught them, I said, well, God's not even a man.
Right.
God, so God made all of us equal because we all came from him. Male and female came from
Yes.
God. And
Right.
so when we look at God that way, we can judge women in a more open way. We can see that women can have positions that men can have. Women
Right.
are as equal as men are because now we see God that way.
Wow.
But God has been seen as this bigamist and this God who is supreme above women, and he's a man and only the man is in charge. And that's why we treat women that way.
Right.
Right.
That's why there's such a prejudice against women because we see a prejudiced God and
Right.
we feel that God is prejudiced. So your
Mm-hmm.
perception of God is going to be your perception of everything. So
Wow.
you have to first be open to being wrong about what you know about him.
Wow. That's powerful stuff. When it comes to and I'm sure people have, so I guess it's just being open-minded to know you don't know, you may not know everything, and just knowing
Right.
that certain things that you may think they are may,
Right.
may be different.
Right.
Right.
When it comes to having that foundation um, of just faith and belief in something greater, how important is that in your lives as a couple and as parents to children? How important is that faith foundation?
Yes.
I think it's really important that we all have the same mind in a certain faith or whatever you believe. I think the importance part come into what is not what you believe is that it's just the fact of believing in the same thing. Like if
Right.
we're on one accord with your spouse
Right.
and then in your household, then you should prosper in whatever way and
Right.
whatever you believe in.
Right.
I believe that one mind is good to anything because if you have two different minds, say if
Right,
your spouse believes something different than you believe,
Right.
then it's division in your house. And
right,
so I believe that it's important to have the same mind, the same belief, and even in your with your kids.
right,
So that's what
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, I do, and I agree. You have to have a one accordance, and the
Yes,
Bible speaks
in
about it.
whatever you do.
Don't be unequally yoked. Like be yoked. Like have a one accordance when it comes to what you believe, because
right.
guess what? It's going to affect your parenting.
Yeah,
Like if she's a different background spiritually than I am, she's gonna parent my kids differently than I want her to.
Mm-hmm.
right,
We'll clash even in money.
Friction.
right,
Yeah, but
Yes.
your belief and your spirituality affects everything. Your money, everything.
right. Now, can that be something that grows? Because I know originally you said when you came up in the church, she was not as in church, but together
Mm-hmm.
you guys merged into this. So
Right.
Yes.
to the couples who may be of different faiths or different beliefs or just different in general,
Mm-hmm.
that's something that you feel can grow into, because I know you said 2 years ago
Right.
you guys have really been developing more
Right.
as a couple
Mm-hmm.
when it comes
Right.
to just that.
Absolutely. I do believe that there is a way of merging and a way of coming to a common ground, and
Right.
that's where the foundation is built,
Right.
off that communication, coming to understand each other and saying,
Right.
okay, well, I believe this, and just being open with each other. Well, I believe this way, I see this way,
Right.
but
Right.
and then just coming to that common ground and understanding
Right.
and open communication.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that that is one of the key words, Tracy. You hit it on is communication and being able
Mm-hmm.
to have effective, respectful communication, no matter
Right.
Yes,
where someone
yes,
comes from. To be able to
Right.
just say, "I absolutely respect where you come from. I respect where you come from. How can we make this a solid foundation based on
Right.
where we are?" That's
Right.
powerful.
yes.
Because we're never going to stay the same.
Hmm.
Everything evolves.
Right.
Everything evolves. Everything in
Yes.
life, every business, every industry evolves.
Hmm.
Marriage has to evolve. Do you know that the highest risk of divorce is between 15 and 20 years of marriage?
Wow.
Between 15 and 20 years of marriage. It's
Mm.
because every 10 years evolution happens. Every
Right.
decade, evolution happens. So you have people that have been married 20 years, 2 decades, and they lost that connection they had at the beginning
Hmm.
because they failed to evolve.
They grow apart.
They grew apart.
Some people grow, they
Right,
grow together, but then some people, when they grow apart.
right,
Right.
right. So you have to grow together. The
Together.
Bible says the two became one.
Yes.
And so
Right.
you have to continuously develop that oneness with each other. I'm
Hmm.
always developing my oneness with her.
Yes.
Right.
So I don't love her the same I did 5 years ago. I love her differently and even more
Right.
because my love evolves over time.
Hmm.
So if you still love the person that you're in love with the same way you loved them 5 years ago, then you're not evolving. And eventually you'll be on the risk of divorce
Right.
because you're going to grow apart
Yes.
and you're going to start seeing differently even in attraction. You might not
Hmm.
see that person attractive anymore because you didn't evolve in what attraction looks like or what attraction really is.
Hmm.
Attraction is not the same as when I first met her. It's
Yes.
different. I have a
Different.
whole different definition of attraction now.
Yes.
It's more than just looks, even though she still got the looks. It's more than that. There's substance that have been added to
Yes.
my perception of attraction.
Hmm.
Right.
And vision plays a big part in that,
Right.
growing in each other's vision and having that same focal point, knowing where you want to go,
Right.
in this relationship, in this marriage, in this partnership, in this
Right.
union, having the same vision on and goals on where we want to go.
Right.
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 Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I know last week you guys spoke a lot about vision and just the clarity of saying, this is what we want to do. Now, as a couple, do you guys spend time often in just discussing the vision of your relationship and exactly where it should go? And is that something that you would suggest other couples do? And
All the time.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
We're up at 2, 3, 4, just discussing vision. We were doing that this morning, discussing vision.
Yes. Yes.
Because I believe as a man that we should be vision casters. And
mm,
your wife is a vision carrier.
mm,
I cast vision, she carries the vision.
mm,
I am who I am because of her.
wow,
I am who I am because of her. It's not anything that I'm doing. It's her that
Mhm.
that pushes me into vision because she carries the vision like a woman carries a baby. I have the seed, but she has the womb. And it's
Yes.
the same way with vision. I could see something as a husband, but she has the ability to make it happen.
wow,
She
Like planting and nurturing.
right,
Like you plant a seed and then you nurture the seed.
right,
wow.
right,
Yes.
right.
And so you said you are the caster. Say that one more time for our viewers.
So so I am the vision caster. I cast vision, but she carries the vision. The Bible speaks in Proverbs 31 of a virtuous woman, and the Bible says that her husband's name is known in the gates because of her.
Wow,
Her husband has influence in the city because of her.
yeah,
He's a visionary, but she has to have the womb to carry that vision that he has on his life for his name to be known. So, as a couple, you have to cast vision, you have to carry vision, you have to discuss vision, so that you know where your household is headed. Because we're not just married to just have sex. Even though it's great, we have a frequent sex life. Um, we don't just have sex. Sex is not the only thing that's going to keep you. We don't just date. we talk vision, we talk
Yes.
legacy,
Yes.
we talk where our kids are going to be in the next few years. Like
Yes.
we have deep conversations, not service level conversations. Like
Mhm.
what favorite color?
What you doing today?
What you doing today? What favorite color? You know, we talk vision.
And
And
yeah, I
right,
do. I believe also there's levels to your relationship, and
right,
so don't expect once you first get married that you're gonna automatically get to that level of
right,
communication. I
right,
believe that there's levels to it, and
right,
so what you talked about 5 years ago, you may not talk about now.
right,
There's levels to it.
right,
Yes,
right.
That's
Yeah, our
phenomenal.
conversation has changed.
yes,
We don't talk the same. Like in 9 years, we do not speak the same language that we
yeah,
spoke 9 years ago at
yeah.
all. And we were always deep and always profound in conversation, but it was
Mm-hmm.
just a different wavelength, a different mindset.
Right.
And I know when that saying, they say, if you're not growing, you're dying, So
Yes.
with growth, so you guys have grown and progressed in
Right,
conversation and grown and progressed in your relationship and with just everything that you all are, that encompasses you as a couple.
right,
Yes.
right.
Wow.
We have grown, and we measure our growth. We often talk
Yes.
about it. We laugh at pictures that we had like 2 years ago. Like, what were we thinking? Why did we dress like that? Like,
Right.
Yes.
I thought I was clean, and I just thought I was just doing it. I used to wear baggy
Yes.
clothes. She helped me dress differently.
Yeah.
Like, I now wear fitted clothes that according to my body type and all of that. So it fits me, and it's like, just think we've evolved in conversation, we've evolved in perception, we've
Yes.
evolved in look. But
Yes.
it was like we sharpened each other.
Exactly.
Yes.
It
Iron.
wasn't just me or her, it was both of us.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
phenomenal. Yeah, iron sharpens iron, and I think that that's
Right.
beautiful that you guys say that you gauge, or you had said that you look at what you looked like in the past, and you look like, okay, we've been evolved. So you're checking, and you're doing like I guess an internal check as a couple to say, okay, this is where we were, and we're progressing, and we're getting
Yes.
better, and we're becoming better as a
Right.
person, as people, and as a couple as well.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Like having vision boards
Right.
in the beginning of the year. Those type of check-ins.
Yeah.
Right.
Like where we going in this relationship, where we going
Right.
in every aspect with
Right.
our kids, in our finances,
Right.
in our businesses, and in
Right.
our love life. Are we taking that time aside to date? Are we taking that time aside to just talk about us?
Right.
Sometimes we just want to put the kids to bed and just be together, and then then sometimes we want to develop our business aspect of our marriage, our relationship.
Right.
Like it's not just one or the other, it's all of it.
Right.
And we got to learn how to put it in its proper place,
Right.
basically.
Right.
That's so
Right.
Balance.
Right.
so important. So I know that there's a couple I'm a part of. I follow Grant Cardone and his wife Elaine Cardone, and she has a book
Huh.
called Building an Empire. And I absolutely, when I read the book, I'm like, it resonates so much with the way I think as a woman. Tracy, as a woman with building that empire for your household, do you feel like you are and I'm sure you do, because you said it, you are I guess it's almost like the leader of your home, to make sure things go, like you pretty much said, she's the one who makes sure it happens.
Right.
I
That's
do a lot of the I feel like sometimes I do a lot of the back end work. Like when we first started the Power Hub, like I was really hands on with doing the technical things, because I'm very technical. I'm very like detail oriented.
Right.
And so I was like very, very hands on with carrying out doing the little detailed things and
Right.
technical things. Like he's very talkative, as you see. He's the talker, but I'm like the one that, does, like they say, background work, but it's not really background, because
Right.
all of the work comes to the forefront,
Right.
or whatever you're doing.
Right.
So yeah.
She's the backbone. She's
right.
the backbone.
Oh, you
She's
so deep.
That's
She is.
phenomenal. So
Yeah.
she's the backbone of the business and
Right.
of the family as a whole. That it's like your role as the wife and as the partner of your husband is so very important. Just the things that you
Very.
have to do and the things that you go through as a woman is very important in your family.
Right.
Yes, yes, and especially mental growth and just growing in my mind and having that capacity in my mind to just handle everything that it is to handle with being a mother and a business owner and
Right.
also a co-owner and all of these things. Like it's just the I had to stretch my mind.
Right.
Always growing up, I wanted different, from, what I was around. And so when I finally got it, it was like a tugging, it was like a plucking. God had to pluck some of the things that I former knew. He had to pluck that mindset from me, that some of the information that I had in my mind to plant things inside of me, to help me grow, to learn, and to develop what I needed to know as a woman to carry out the vision of my household.
Right.
Wow, that's
Yes.
powerful stuff.
Right.
Powerful stuff. When it with being
Don't
that
start.
with being the backbone of your household and having the children and having the husband, how do you what would you say is some of your keys to success as a woman who is holding it all down? What would you say are some of your keys to success as the foundation, as with building the foundation?
I would say knowing who you are,
Right.
having an identity and being confident in who you are,
Right.
and taking the time aside to build yourself up so that when you're on the forefront, you have the energy, you have the mind to do it, you have the information, like you have the know-how. And so I
Right.
think it's just about setting aside time for yourself to build yourself up, allow God to help you and to get to a place where you know who you are and you know where you're going. It's just about clarity, having clarity of what's going on.
Right.
What's like basically what's going on. Okay, who am I to this person, and
Right.
categorizing relationships and knowing
Right.
how to carry out those relationships and
Right.
in anything, marriage, with being a mother and then being a business owner, knowing how to categorize yourself in those parts of your life.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
just having that clarity in each area of your life.
Yes.
And that's again where it goes to that vision, having that clarity in each area of your life and just continuously building upon the clarity and building upon
Yes.
uh, that thing and becoming better in each area would be
Right.
Yes.
important then.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Phenomenal. That's
Right.
phenomenal.
Yes.
And
Right.
so, for anyone who's newly getting married or about to, in a relationship, would you tell them to just take a moment? Because I know as a success coach, in my program we have something where we tell people to just clearly identify how they want their lives in each area of their
Yes.
life, and then
Mhm.
with that, master it. Master.
Right.
It. You're
Yes.
always learning. You're forever a student, but just get better in each area of
Right.
your life.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would
Excellent.
say too, yeah. We do marriage counseling. We counsel
Yes.
couples that have been married 20 years. We
Mhm.
counsel couples that have been married too.
Mhm.
But I would always recommend to do marriage counseling
Okay.
before you get into it,
Yes.
because you're going to evolve, you're going to change, nothing is going to be the same.
Mhm.
But there are things that will never change about your spouse,
Yes.
and I've
Wow.
learned that too. There are things that you will not just be able to change.
Mhm.
Like, you got to be comfortable with what they sometimes bring to the table. It might be good or bad, but you have to accept all things. And so, marriage counseling will help put things in perspective, so you
Mhm.
can set a standard. Because sometimes we set standards that are too high,
Right.
that have nothing to do with
Yes.
reality.
Right.
Yes.
And like, I had to understand that my wife has a certain grace and gift on her life, and I
Yes.
was forcing her according to the grace that I had on me.
Mhm.
And I can't marry her to be like me. I gotta marry her
For her, yes.
for her, and love her for her. I
Mhm.
can't make somebody like me. So
Right.
that's the point of being mutual and compatible.
Mhm.
You're different, but you work together, and it
Yes.
makes you one.
Mhm.
Making you one doesn't mean that you get somebody like you. You get
Mhm.
somebody that's different, that can work with you.
Right.
And the Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree? So
Right.
it's like marriage counseling will help put that in perspective, to say,
Mhm.
okay, this might not change, but
Right.
this will. So are
Yes.
you okay with that? Are you okay with this person being this way,
Yes.
and not really having your mindset on this, and you can actually use it to your advantage. So
Mhm.
it works.
It's like having a functional body. You know, the eyes doesn't do the same thing as the nose. The nose
Right.
smells, the eyes see. So your partner may do a different thing, but you all have the same mindset of
Right.
how you want to function. Like it's the same body but different parts. If
Right.
you get what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally get it. I
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
understand.
And they all are important. They
Yes.
all are important. And
Mhm.
I used to see, being a visionary, you just see what you see.
Mhm.
But sometimes we need the balance and know how to get there. So
Right.
that's where she comes in. Well, she might see a different route. I see the entire picture, but she might see a different route and say, okay, well, let's take this route to get there. And I have to be willing to work with her, and she has to be willing to work with me. So,
Mhm.
but marriage counseling helps with that.
Yeah.
You
Right.
iron out all the kinks before you
Right.
say I do. Because
Yes.
once you say I do, that's it.
Mhm.
Right. And so do you all did you guys so you did marriage counseling beforehand. Do you still do marriage counseling now, or is it do you just counsel others in their relationships?
Yeah, so we've never really had marriage counseling. We had to count. God had to counsel us.
Yes.
So we had to learn the hard way, like
Yeah.
just
Right.
going through it.
Yeah.
But
Right.
but we counsel, yeah, we counsel often. We counsel couples contact us all the time. We've done counseling with couples that have been married 30 years.
Wow.
Yes.
They
That's
said they lost the love of being able to hold, because we holding hands right now. They
Oh, we
like
are.
they lost that love of holding hands at 30 years of marriage.
Yes.
wow.
Don't
Wow.
hold hands, or he's in that room and she's in that room.
Yeah.
Like, we were able to help them rekindle their love.
Mhm.
Wow. That's
We got folks in their 50s that gone back, being freaky again, because
Right.
helping them get
good
spicy, and
job.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like you can't have a boring life either.
Mhm.
So all of that, and I don't suggest going sleeping with people before you get married. Not even because my preference spiritually, but it's just it messed things up.
Yeah.
But you want to know that person. You want to be able to know if that person will be able to have pleasure in some kind of way before you get into marriage. Because I want to be liked by you, and I want her to like. I want to like her too.
Yes.
So I don't want to be in a marriage that I don't want to be in. I need to know in advance. So yeah, marriage counseling. I would advise do it.
Yeah, and we have an anointing for helping couples, married people, get back to their
Sex life.
love, their first love.
That's amazing. So
Yes.
is this something that this is like another service that you guys offer to couples? Is this
Right.
the marriage counseling aspect of things? And
Right.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
that's
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
phenomenal. That's
Yep. We
phenomenal.
they chart. I mean, they pay us for marriage counseling. I mean, we do it often. Just a few weeks ago, well, a month ago, because the Corona got us stuck in the house right now.
Corona.
Right.
Corona's so ghetto.
Right. Yeah.
But Corona. So before Corona, February, like that was our last session we did, and we were there for hours. But I mean, they're like loving on each other,
Mhm.
like probably too much, because I think she got so, you know, I can't tell that business, but
Right. But I mean, that's a blessing, bringing families together. And that's one of the reasons why I started Keys to Success and why on Fridays we spotlight power couples such as
right,
yourself, because I think the importance of the union of families and love and
right,
relationships and
right,
proper love and proper relationships is so very important. So
right,
thank you guys so much for doing that for other couples
right,
and doing that for the world and doing your
right,
part to just make it better.
right,
I know earlier in the beginning of this, I had mentioned that I had reached out to another couple and they had a Facebook group called the Power Couple Movement. And they're
right,
the same way, just giving those little tidbits. So, I mean,
right,
I think it's
right.
really phenomenal and amazing that you guys are doing that. And
Yeah.
I'm starting a group also for singles to get in
Ah.
big group for them to just talk. And I want married power couples to be a part of that group to
Okay,
educate
yeah,
Mm.
singles on how to properly align themselves to that destination. Because there's a
yeah,
lot of
Yes.
things that need to be done correctly for you to end up in that, so it's like you want that end result. So why not learn from the people that are at the end result?
acting,
Don't talk to others
right,
Yes.
who are not
Yes.
in happy relationships on how
Yes.
properly end up as a power couple, we need to have some power couples at the forefront to say, follow us this way. These are the things you should do. This is the foundation.
Right. And I believe that every marriage should have their like own identity as well. And so a lot of people get married. Well, I'm not gonna say a lot of people, but I've seen a lot of people get married for the wrong reasons because they feel like, well, I see this couple and this couple is doing this, so I want to be that way. But then when they get into the marriage, it's not that, So my thing is I don't want people to just get married because I see people living this way together and they got to have their own identity. What is your identity in your marriage? What is your identity together? Where are you two going? There's something that God wants from you two. Like when we first got married, we already knew that God wanted something from us, and it was a certain thing. We knew that we was going to be an example to a lot of people. Just being young and married, that's an example. It's a lot of people that are young, that are our age, that are not getting married. A lot of people don't want to get married because of what they've seen before. And so I do think it's important that you have your own identity inside of your marriage, for different, because people get married for different reasons.
And I think that definitely falls into that vision and that clarity of how you want your life, and then saying, when you clearly identify how you want your life in all areas of your life, when it comes to that section of marriage, you can identify how you would like your life to be, and speaking about it with your spouse to maybe have that clarity of, okay, this is how we would like to live our lives. These are some of the things that we want to do on this earth to make a difference, and how we're going to go about doing it. And then maybe, learning from others, this will work if you do, just suggestions on how you can properly do things and guide through conversations, and like you guys bringing the spark back to the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, representation is missing. Especially and I know we got other race and ethnicities that are watching, but especially in the African American community, representation in all outlooks is missing. Like media, we don't have a lot of our faces like in high positions anymore. It's getting there.
It is.
It's getting there, but representation is still missing. So representation is important. We need it in the Black community as far as family. Functional families. Like they need to see the Obamas again. And that somebody
that's why the people fell in love with Obamas, I think. Because of their relationship.
Their proper function. And so what are your takes, and I will let you go in a little bit, but what are your takes on families that are dysfunctional but together?
I really believe counseling is needed, even with families. Parents raising kids, marriages. Because the thing is, a lot of people don't understand relationship is all about objective. I'm not with her just to be with her to be in love. That was the benefit. That's the reward I get. I get a reward for being with her, But the objective is because she has a destiny that I need her to fulfill, and I have a destiny that I need to fulfill. And together we help each other fulfill it. So when you have a dysfunctional household, you have a husband and wife who's not fulfilling destiny. And guess what? You got kids that grow up. Why do you think adults are having hard times being adults at 30, 40, 50 years old? Because they lack that foundation when they were younger. Their parents didn't have a foundation. They were dysfunctional, and they raised them in dysfunction. So they became dysfunctional adults. So families that are dysfunctional need counseling because they have to uproot that foundation.
Excuse me.
She don't have corona, y'all.
Wow.
This is a joke. But families have to have that representation of function.
Yes.
Because your kid, the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go. But you have to know where they're going. And a lot of times we just tell them go to school, get an education, or get a job. And right now, you had 10 million people that filed for unemployment. This past week. 10 million people filed for unemployment. Was it 3 million
or 10 million?
10. It's updated.
Wow.
Updated as of today, 10 million people have filed for unemployment. Because we have so many dysfunctional families. And they're not raising their kids. They're caretakers. But they're not raising a kid. Just because you take your kid on vacation, you feed them, you're a caretaker.
Yeah.
But if you're not developing them in destiny, you're not a care. I mean, you're not a trainer. You're a caretaker. You're supposed to be a trainer. As a parent, train them.
Yeah.
And so we believe in functional families too.
Yes.
We train our kids early on. They know how to pray. My son is business minded already.
Yes.
He's a leader. He's the top of his class. Well, they're out of school now, but yeah, he was a student of the month. I mean, he was recognized by the entire school. The principal has reached out to us. His teacher called specifically for him the other day and wants to FaceTime him because she missed him. The bus driver loved him.
Yes.
Like, I mean, we train our kids to be lights, to be superstars, to be leaders early on. And he's only 5. Our daughter, she's 3. Our oldest son, he's 12. So we train them early on to think like a leader, to be functional.
Have character.
Yeah.
Character. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's important.
Somebody said, yes, 10 million is correct.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 10 million as of today. Filed unemployment.
Wow.
As of today.
And so, I mean, with the unemployment and the families, just having that foundation, creating that vision, and all of the things that encompass being a great parent and being a great spouse, what would you say is some good advice for parents to get on that train if they're not already, or for those that are on, to help others to become better?
Well, I think taking classes. There are many classes on parenting now. I think, but the only thing is there's not a balance between spirituality and practicality. So you have to go to a teacher or trainer that's spiritual, that understands the spiritual principles of raising a child, because it's not just practical, it's spiritual too. But I think learning how to be a parent. The Bible says that you have to be gifted to be married. Marriage is a gift. Excuse me. Everybody isn't meant to be married.
Wow.
Everybody isn't meant to raise kids. I got some people I know right now. I ain't gonna call their name, but I got some people right now I know that got kids that don't need them. She's squeezing my head. Need to call defects right now. They don't need kids,
Right.
But and it's not so much because they're evil people, they're bad people. It's just because they haven't been taught themselves.
Right.
Parents need to know how to be parents.
Right.
Sometimes people don't need to learn by trial and error. They need a class.
Right.
They need to be educated. They need to be trained. They need to be taught. Training is always the forefront of function.
Yeah.
If you're going to have function, you must have training.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Right. And so I guess what you guys were saying, marriage counseling and parenting classes, because I know me as a mom, when my daughter was young, I took a parenting class because she would, I didn't know when I was a mom, and I didn't know how. So I'm like, well, I need to take parenting class because this is not going to work. And from that, I became better as a mother. So I think, that's super important. And that's an amazing tip, is as parents and as people, if there's areas and things in your life where you need to become better at, taking that class, taking those trainings, mastering it, becoming better. You'll never become a master, but at least each day strive to be better in that.
Yep. You have to understand that parenting is the key to a functional child, and you got to understand that word parent. Like I said, going back to carrying vision, I'm the vision caster, she's the vision carrier. The same thing with kids. Like, I'm more of a stern disciplinary. I'm all on my kids, like all the time. Like they're like 30 years old, like, and at first it was like, were they kids? But you got to understand, in the first 7 years of their life, their brain is being developed.
Yes.
Right.
After 7 years, your brain now takes on a personality. And that personality now is hard to alter it after so many years. You cannot train a 15-year-old.
Right.
This is why it says it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
Right.
Once he's 15, there's no raising him. You got to raise him at 5. You got to raise him at 3. You don't raise him at 15.
Right.
At 15, he's supposed to take on the image of what you raise him to do.
Right.
So 15 is the fruit-bearing season. High school, fruit-bearing season.
Yes.
But first 7 years, you're supposed to develop that mindset.
Wow.
And so it's important. It's vital.
Wow.
Yes.
That's phenomenal stuff. And so have you guys, I want to thank you, first of all, for taking the time out to join us again today and share your tips and some of your secrets on what it means to just be that power couple, what it means to be great parents, what it means to be developing into your best selves.
Yes.
Is there any final words that you guys would like to leave our viewers? And I know we have, I don't know if we have any questions. And if anyone has any questions that's viewing, feel free to ask any questions before we sign off here. But this is my son is 28, and I want to make sure that he has the opportunity to challenge himself, challenging times during the
Some
show.
of our spiritual family is on. Hey, Lawanda. Hey,
Hey,
Courtney.
Lorna. Hey, Courtney.
Thank you guys so very much for joining.
And Janika. Hey, Janika Green. Some of our supporters have come on and supported us. Thank y'all for coming on.
Thank you
But
guys.
yeah, Lynn Smith, her son is 28. Yep. And make sure he has opportunity. Yeah. Because this is a challenging time,
It
especially for black
is.
men.
Yes.
Especially for black men. Like I said, I think I talked about the last time when I had to reposition myself financially for this coronavirus season. God told me months ago to leave a job that I had. And I mean, I made good money, very good money, but I didn't know why out in totality what God told me to leave. But now I know it's because of this. If
Wow.
I did not make certain decisions to
Yes.
have financial stability for my family, even though I already had it, but I needed to do it away from that source of income
Right.
because I can't go there now. I have to work from home. I've got to depend on webinars and the things that I'm doing now. And you're doing, I got to depend on webinars and the things that I'm doing now in order to sustain my house. And we're doing great financially.
That's phenomenal.
Doing great financially. We spending food stamp money. like I mean, it's great. And I'm so proud of myself as a man, as a black man, to be able to see my wife comfortably sleep at night. Not up. If she's up, it's because she just want to be up.
Right.
But to see my kids sleep in a comfortable bed in a comfortable room, not worrying about if they're gonna eat.
Yeah.
So we gotta train them now.
Yes.
Because what if it happens again? What if the coronavirus hits even worse
Right.
years from now? What are our kids going to be doing? What are they going to be in position to be able to weather the storm? Because I'm telling you, this is going to kill more people economically than
Wow.
physically.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Well, I want to thank you guys so very much again for joining us. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you to your spiritual family for joining the live. Thank you, everyone, for just taking the time out of your afternoon to chime in on some of the keys to success with you guys. Um, I really don't have any much to say. It was so many great nuggets on just, taking the time to learn more, educate yourself. And like you said, our community, our people, we need that, we need to, I guess I would say, identify where we may need to get better and then seek the answers on how to become better, whether it be reading a book, attending a class, learning from other people who are successful in those areas. So I just want to thank you guys both for joining us today. And
It's no
I don't know
problem.
if someone has a question. Luann Smith or Leanne Smith, I have a question. I'm
I'm
listening.
literally
Go ahead.
I'm literally pulling my son and husband together and a bunch of others to sustain our business. Any words on how to wrangle in kindness? Um, Lynn Smith, are you pulling teeth? Are they cooperative to help sustain your business? Are they on one accord? That's what I would ask. If they're not cooperating, what I would say, one thing I would say is this: you have to work with like-minded people, whether they're family or not.
Yes.
I couldn't be in business with my wife if she didn't have my mindset. Like you have to be on one accord in anything that you do. If it's business, you have to have people that are just as driven and motivated as you are. Because if they're not, there's going to be an imbalance
Yes.
in your scaling and financial leveraging of your platforms. You're not going to be able to leverage your full advantage because you have people that are on your team that don't have the same drive as you. They don't have the same motivation as you. So I would say you've got to regroup with a team who thinks like you and has your same drive, if that's the case. If the case is they're not cooperating and you just can't get them on board, you got to regroup, even if it's family. Sometimes, like God told Abraham, you got to leave your family behind.
Right.
And it's hard because you love them, you got their DNA in you, but a lot of times in this season, you got to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
I've separated myself from family members. but I have to do what's best for me because I have a goal, I have a legacy, I got stuff that I need to establish. And if you can't cooperate with that and you can't think like me, then that is my challenge to find the driven team. Yeah, you got to find the driven team. You got to find a team that is driven just like you because there's going to be a lack of balance and you're not going to get anything done. There's three things that I give you. You got to have money, energy, and time. If you allow people to take advantage of your money, if you allow them to take advantage of your time and your energy, you're never going to get anything done. Productivity only comes from managing your time, money, and energy.
Yes.
You've got to allocate your money to assets. You got to allocate your time to assets.
Yes.
You got to allocate your energy to assets. Some people are a liability. Some family members are a liability.
Yes.
All right. So you have to make sure that you manage your money well. Don't be spending your money out and splurging it to people who don't have your drive.
Yes. And don't mix business with personal.
Right.
Don't mix the two.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Don't
mix.
If you put your emotions into it, you can't make a business decision.
Yes.
I have to executively make decisions in my business without being emotional.
Emotions.
I have to fire people that I like. Guess what? I might like you as a person, but if you're not getting the job done, I got to fire you.
Right.
You can't work for my team.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, so it ain't about I like you as a person or we friends. I don't have friends in business. I don't do business with friends. I have to. If I do business with friends, it is very restricted on what we do and how we do it, and we clarify what we need from each other.
Yes.
Because we can't be buddy when we making money. I'm all about the dollar. So if we're gonna make money, let's make money. But I don't have time to hee and giggle and laugh. Like we have to be on one accord. And if you can't cooperate, then we gotta separate, and I gotta find a team of people that can do it and that can produce it.
Right.
Yes.
And so basically, when it's time for business, it's time for business, and everything
Right.
else is,
Yeah.
that's important for sure.
Yeah.
Well, again, I want to thank you guys for joining us. And I don't know if we have any more questions here. Where can everyone find you all if they want to do the marriage counseling or just for you? I know you're having a class tomorrow, Joshua.
Yes.
You have a class tomorrow, and Tracy, you have a lot of events and things coming up as well, potentially.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
the class tomorrow, if you want to join us, if you are a intuitive prophetic person in any industry, you don't have to be in church. You can be in business, entrepreneur, government. It doesn't matter. We're holding a class tomorrow, a webinar. From 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11:30 a.m. It's only $30 to register. We've already got like 30 registrations already done from leaders all around the globe who are going to learn the essence of true spirituality and how to implement it in the marketplace.
Wow.
So being spiritual as a politician or being spiritual as a school teacher, whatever your industry is, that's what we're doing tomorrow. So we would love to have you.
Yes.
You can inbox me for the link.
Awesome.
What's your?
Joshua cpov Johnson on Facebook. Joshua cpov on Facebook. cpov Johnson.
And question:
And
what is the CPOV?
Christ point of view.
Christ's point of view. Okay, I wondered that. I'm like, I'm gonna ask, what is the CPOV?
A lot of people thought it was my middle name. My middle name is James, but it's CPOV, Christ point of view.
Christ's point of view. Fantastic. Well, thank you
And-
guys. Go ahead, Tracy.
I was gonna say you can just reach me at Tracy Johnson on Facebook and Tracy J230 on Instagram and www.sisterempire.com from our website.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank
very
you
much.
for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We enjoyed it.
You're very welcome. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we
I
can
don't know
still
what
see.
just happened to the computer, but I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you to all the viewers for all of your questions and everything today. We really appreciate it. You all can reach me at misskialee.com. Again, it's MSK.
She froze.
It's still going.
Okay.
Is it?
You're frozen.
No.
Okay, there she is. Hold on. She might come back.
No, we're live.
So we're live, but she's
Yeah.
frozen. Cut it off, you might come in.
Okay.
Let's see.
Your house.
Hey, Lynn Smith. Hey, definitely connect with us. Lynn Smith. Definitely connect with us. Joshua cpov Johnson on Facebook or Tracy Johnson on Facebook. Yeah, Lynn Smith, definitely connect with us, Lynn Smith. Definitely connect with us. We would love to have you part of the webinar tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, only $30 to register. But I'm guarantee you it'll be a great benefit to
You didn't give your website.
Oh, and my website is prophetjoshuajohnson.com. Prophetjoshuajohnson.com.
Maybe she's not trying to.
She coming back now. She coming back. Okay, I will be there. Yeah, just Lynn Smith, inbox me for the link to pay. Inbox me for the link to pay, and I will send you all the information. Okay.
Think she just ended.
All right. Well, I'm not sure what happened, but we're probably gonna end it. All of you guys definitely connect with us. All right. Thank you all.